Hey members, welcome to another edition of Weighted Wednesday. I hope the middle of the week is treating you well and you're staying healthy and active and you haven't killed any of your family members yet. I hope you're all doing, the workout videos and you're staying on top of that. So today's Weighted Wednesday, we're going to look around the house for some more props that you may have that we could use instead of your bag of bird feed or your bag of rocks or a keg, whatever you have. We actually at PCC, I never would have thought this, but even if nobody uses the club, there are still people cleaning here. So all of the broom handles are either in use or attached to something that I can't undo. So I opted for, this is a weighted bar or a body bar. We're gonna pretend like this is my broom handle. It's a very heavy broom handle, about 15 pounds, but make sure your broom handle's sturdy, either wood or reinforced plastic. I don't even think they make metal broom handles anymore, but that would be an option. And for my weights, I have 2 buckets of water, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring these buckets of water over here. And another cool thing about working out with buckets of water is that you really have to be intentional with your movements, because if you move in a really jerky fashion, you're gonna probably splash some everywhere. And I would probably recommend this in a nice outdoor day when there isn't too much of a breeze or it's nice and sunny. So we're gonna start here. We're gonna do 3 different circuits. The first circuit is gonna be deadlifts. So you're gonna drive through the floor, stand all the way up, okay? So again, you're gonna go all the way down, keeping your head up and your chest up nice and tall, touch the weights to the ground, and stand up. Okay, pulling your core in, squeezing the glutes and pushing the hips into the bar at the top of the movement. Okay, so side view of this movement. Head up, chest up nice and tall. You're gonna sit back, push the hips back, touch, stand up, pull the hips towards the bar. Fully extend, you don't wanna push your hips forward, hyperextend your back, just stand nice and tall. The second exercise of this movement is going to be a bent over row. So you're gonna push your hips back, pulling your abs in just to protect your spine. You might feel a stretch in the hamstrings, that's quite all right. From here, you're gonna tuck your elbows into your side. Okay, all the way up, all the way down. Now, these buckets are a little bit on the smaller side for me. If I was doing this at home, I'd try to use painter's buckets, but really, something's better than nothing. So, and that's the whole purpose of Weighted Wednesday. So whatever you can find, water bottles. I've heard cans of beans. Haven't tried it, but we are in a unique set of circumstances. So, okay, next we're going to do some bicep curls. So for this, you want to keep your elbows nice and tucked into your side. Make sure your hands are clear of any weight that you're moving, right? So you want to curl all the way up. Now, this is where you need to be intentional, because if I curl this anymore, I'm going to ruin the carpet in this room, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to slowly put the weight down. I'm going to readjust, try to get it in the center, and go there. So again, we're going to start by doing curls. You're going to curl up, squeeze at the top, and all the way down. What you want to avoid when you're doing curls, and just for the sake of learning, I'm going to drop the water weight here. When you're doing curls, you want your elbows tucked into your side and curl all the way up, providing that max contraction in the bicep. What you'll see sometimes is if you do a curl, there will be a tendency to lift your elbows, and the bicep, in addition to turning over your wrist, the bicep really only flexes and extends your elbow. If your humerus right here comes up, which is creating that elbow lift, that's actually using your anterior deltoid, and we want to really focus that tension on the bicep. So really lock those elbows into the side, squeeze all the way at the top, and really get that peak contraction in the bicep. So that's your first circuit. You're going to do that 3 times through, and then you're going to hop onto the second circuit, which is a pushing circuit. Some people call it push-pull. So the first circuit was pull. We did deadlifts where you're pulling the weight off the floor. Bent over rows, you're pulling the weight towards your chest. Curls, you're pulling the weight with your arms up towards the ceiling. The second round of exercises, we're gonna be doing squats. We're gonna go ahead and do a front squat. So what I've done is I've lifted the weight, I've placed it on my shoulders. I'm actually creating a crook in my shoulders by elevating my elbows. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is actually sit back into a chair, keeping my chest up nice and tall. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of instability as I shake from left to right, which the water is creating. That's actually ideal because you're actually challenging your body to stabilize that. You're gonna big inhale at the top, and then exhale as you come up and stand out of it, squeezing the glutes and pushing the hips forward at the end. So I'm gonna try and spin this to the side here. I need more spills. And we're gonna sit the hips back, chest up. Try to hit at least parallel before standing back up again. So all the way up, all the way down, and all the way back up. I'm gonna very gently lower this back down to the ground. Okay. The next movement, you usually want to deload this. So even if you've used the same weight for the squats, the rows, the deadlifts, you want to take this one a little bit easier because we're going to be going overhead, and that overhead movement, not many people do in their day-to-day life, which is fine, but we want to keep that accessibility there. And if you go too heavy overhead, sometimes you can strain your shoulders. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to use just my broomstick, my 15-pound broomstick here, and you're going to go ahead and press it straight up. So keep your core engaged, squeeze the glutes, push all the way towards the top of the ceiling, push your head through at the end. Again, we've covered this in prior videos. When pushing up, you want to tilt your head back just a little bit, let the weight pass you by, and slowly return it, resting at the top of your sternum. You're going to push all the way up, and all the way down, resting at the top of the chest. All the way up, all the way down. Now, there's a couple different variations. If you want to hit more of your shoulder entirely, what you can do is adopt a more wide grip here, okay? This is a great exercise for those extra large can of beans, because if you do enough of those reps, you'll tire those shoulders out pretty quick. So if I want to hit mostly shoulders, I'm moving my elbows out to the side, pressing all the way up, extending overhead, slowly lowering back down. Okay, and then if I want to incorporate my triceps a little bit more, I scooch my hands closer towards my body, which effectively stacks my wrist, elbow, and shoulder. And once I go into this position, I'm using actually more tricep to press up. So the side view of this, I get my elbows underneath my wrists, I press all the way up. Now I'm still using my shoulders, but I am using a lot more tricep in that manner than I am out to the sides. So that is the second movement of the third circuit. The third movement of this circuit is actually going to be a floor press. Now, this is a modified bench press. If you have a bench at home, please use your bench. I certainly don't, and I wish I did, but I don't. So we're going to improvise, right? Because we're creative. So we're going to go ahead, and you're setting yourself up just like you're at the gym, and you're going to get your weight plates all on the bar, however many weight plates you have. Now again, this is going to feel a little unusual because it's going to want to shake and be unsteady. So you're going to start here, and you push all the way up towards the ceiling, and slowly lower, all the way up towards the ceiling, and slowly lower. Exhale, inhale. Now if you want to challenge yourself and really get a core workout, what you can do is extend your legs, keeping your back flat up against the ground, and engage your core. Okay, so that was the floor press. that was the third of the second circuit. So you're gonna go ahead and after you do the first circuit, you do that 3 rounds, you're gonna go ahead and do the second circuit 3 times through. And that will be a full body weight, externally weighted workout. And that's gonna be a pretty good challenge for you. You have a push circuit, a pull circuit leading to a full body workout. Hope you have a great day and stay healthy, everybody. Also in today's workout, you'll see I have the acronym RPE, which in parentheses I state is the rate of perceived exertion. Now, usually rate of perceived exertion is on a scale from 6 to 20, and that correlates to heart rate. I don't know why they picked 6 to 20 either, but a professor named Dr. Borg selected that as a number range that doesn't really have any meaning to it, so we don't have, like our brain during exercise doesn't have time to scale it. So they found it was more accurate to pick on a scale from 6 to 20 for an athlete than on a scale of 1 to 10. And that 6 to 20, if you multiply those numbers by 10, that correlates on average to your heart rate at any given time during that workout. So for example, if we were using the 6 to 20 scale, it would be I'm running really fast and I'm getting there, I'm at a pretty good pace, but I'm challenging myself. Maybe I'm at a 14 or a 15. Chances are my heart rate is within 10 beats of that, either maybe 140 to 160 in that range. And if you can get yourself in a pretty accurate state of heart rate, that's a pretty good indicator of how hard the subject is working. Today we're going to simplify it. We're just sticking 1 to 10. So again, 1 is something you can do all day. If I emptied out one of those buckets, I could probably curl that thing till I was blue in the face. RPE 5 is a little bit more challenging. Maybe that's a bucket of water, one of those red buckets of water. And then RPE 10 is if I had 4 of those buckets of water and I was curling them with one hand, that would be very difficult for me. So I don't even think I could move that once. That being said, play around with your RPEs. Just try your best. It's not an exact science, so it's just something so you know. Hey, the first round is a warm-up round. It's going to be lighter. We're going to do more reps. The second round, we want you to really be pushing yourself. We're going to do fewer reps but heavier weight. The third round, we're back to that lighter weight, but we're doing even more reps. So that's kind of how I want this workout to go for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. Thanks and have a great day.